we're all relaxed and calm. Welcome to ASMR makeup. I couldn't ever possibly, I'm way too spastic for that kind of thing. And yeah, we're gonna do a chatty get ready with me today, guys. I wanted to hang out and tell you some stories, some things that have happened lately. You know, my life hasn't been like super eventful, but there are some things. There's some things, and there's this. I've been really wanting to try this. The new contour stick from LYS. I finally got it, finally got back in stock. Do I need another contour stick? I don't. But I have one. And we're gonna hang out today and do like the little chatty, put on some makeup and have a moment. So if that sounds cool, stick around because I'm about to get into it. But before I do, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, coming out of my channel. It'd be really great to have you here. With all that being said, let's get into today's video. Look at my ears just sticking out. That one looks tucked back in. This one looks like it's like, my face is not symmetrical. I mean, most people don't have the perfect symmetry of the face anyhow. So moving on from that, let's get started. So how's it going? I hope you guys had a good holiday weekend if you celebrated. So Memorial weekend. It's not Memorial weekend yet, so I couldn't tell you what I did for Memorial weekend. I think we're gonna have Mom over, if I'm not mistaken. But so far, I don't know because we're not there yet. It's just not that day. But that's not going to stop me from sitting down and doing the thing. Probably just going to go for my usual fresh-faced moment today because I don't have super lengthy stories to share, but I have some stuff. There's stuff. So you guys know, let's start off with the writer's strike. That's still going on. And still navigating and trying to figure things out, still putting out applications and trying to find something to supplement my income while I wait for, you know, the strike to come to an end, and who knows when that's going to happen. I'm hearing like maybe August, you know, maybe in a couple of months from now, we'll see, but I just don't know that I want to wait around for the possibility of it ending around. I just don't know, you know, because it's uncertain. And the bills will certainly come in. That's one thing that's not going to stop. It just seems like a good idea to find another gig. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at. So the search continues, and I'm looking into all kinds of different things, you know, not just food stuff. I'm looking into like makeup artistry, since I am a certified makeup artist, and you know, just places that don't require to have cosmetology on top of it, because a lot of places do. So just looking into that, maybe considering like freelance and that kind of thing. But you know, just putting irons in the fire and doing that deal. And we took Mom to a Mother's Day lunch last weekend. It was the week after Mother's Day because my mom and my oldest sister had a plan to go somewhere together on Mother's Day, so we didn't take her out on that day. We took her out the following weekend, and we went to this place. I'm going to put the name up on the screen because I'm not going to say it right. Something the Chow. It's a Brazilian restaurant, and the food was incredible. The only thing I would say about this place is that if you don't know where it is, it's really easy to miss. They don't have, it's like once you see it, then you see like their sign or stuff, but you can easily drive right past it because it's so tucked away in this big building that looks like an apartment complex, and it's just not stand out enough. So we had kind of a hard time finding it initially, and once we did, you know, it worked out and it was all fine and good. But oh, the food was incredible. Oh my gosh, we did this seafood tower that was, it was so good. Ridiculously priced though, stupid expensive, like you know, but Mom, you know, so Mom's worth it. It's all good. I don't know that we would go back again because as far as like the pocketbook goes, it's just, you know, it's just not the good plan. They had a really great salad bar, and they had I had also with the whole seafood tower that I'm sharing with Mom and all that stuff, I got the sea bass, and oh my, it was so good. I mean, the food was incredible, and the ambiance and all that stuff. So we had a really great time. It was just like a brief visit with Mom, but she's supposed to come and stay with us over the weekend. It's something that I put out there when she was, when we were all at lunch. I said, you know, it's been a minute, so just come stay at the house for a couple of days because I'm here. And so she's not working, I think, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'll probably go ahead and pick her up and bring her on over and hang out. It would be so fun to do a video with my mom. I don't know if she would do it. I feel like she would be uncomfortable, but God, it'd be so fun to do that. Now we're gonna go ahead and try this. So let's get into it. This is the shade Harmony, and it's medium, and I thought this was the one that would be most suitable to my skin tone. I love the packaging. It's very light, and it doesn't feel, you know, sometimes like Luxe Crazy like this is like weighted. This is super airy light, but it's nice, you know, and I like the color, the rose gold. I've been really into rose gold lately. I've been really into jewelry lately. Not buying it, but looking at it. Just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Look how pretty this is. We're gonna try it. I'm gonna use a sponge to blend it in, so let's go. I hope I like it. I have a feeling, oh, it feels so smooth. Shut up. Ooh, that may be a little dark. That's okay, we're gonna make it work. Still have a sleep line on my face. Look at that. I am excited. Ooh. There's another TikToker. I watch a lot of TikTok and YouTube. I'm on social media like a lot. And there's a TikToker that does this parody of the Kardashians.
Where is Kylie? She's taking forever. Hi. Ooh.
And it's just freaking hilarious. I can't do it right, but it's funny. Ooh, Stormy. Stuck in my head right now. Anyway, let's blend this and see what happens. I think I went a little high, but that's all right. It works like a contour, but it's also very warm. So I think it's more of a bronzer. Is it bronzer? Am I losing my freaking mind? It's probably a bronzer, and I'm calling it a contour stick because I do that a lot. It is a bronzer. Okay, let's continue. I love a good warm summery look. I did not need a new bronzer, but yeah. I've actually been really liking the Pat McGrath one, but this caught my attention. It's so beautiful, and it looks really beautiful right now. So currently, no regrets. I'm feeling like I'm really liking it. I've been doing my usual, you know, focusing on my channel, focusing on, you know, like my personal health and well-being. I made a decision that some of you may agree with and some of you may not. And, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna leave this in the video, but wow, I look, woo, that's a look right there. It's all coming together. I look like I have a nice tan, very glowy, very summery. That's a thing. Another thing that has been going on lately is that my skin has improved incredibly. I don't know if it's that new, what do you call it? That I got the moisturizer from First Aid Beauty, but which is great, by the way. I've really been enjoying it. But my skin feels so much better, and it doesn't have those really bad dry patches anymore. It might be because of the change in the weather. I'm really not 100% sure. I don't know. It just feels like it's improved so much. It's like, it's kind of incredible, and I'm really excited about it. And I recently made a decision a couple months ago when I went and got all those tests and stuff like that to get started on hormone replacement therapy. And I know there's some people that are going to have, you know, feelings about it. I've had people say, oh no, you know, terrible things are going to happen to you. And I did talk to my doctor about it, and the likelihood of things being different or escalating for something not good to happen are very low. You have just as much chance if you don't do it, you know. So I made the executive decision, and I had toyed around with the idea, not toyed, that's not the right word. It's something that I thought of doing for a while now, and I finally went ahead and I did it. Right before the writer's strike, when I could lose my insurance, which is like, kind of, it's all gonna work out, it's gonna be fine. I've been doing it for a couple weeks now, and another thing that like I said, I've noticed that my skin has improved, my overall well-being has improved, and I just feel more and more like myself with each passing day. It's actually really incredible, and I'm not having as many hot flashes, and they're so infrequent now, and I just, yeah, it's I just feel this huge difference. There's a lot of steps to it, a lot more than I thought that would be involved in it, at least for the care that I'm getting at the moment. And yeah, I just thought it was like, maybe you take it's not at all. There's other things that are involved, but I can honestly say that it is helping so much. And I'm happy with my decision currently at this point in time, because I feel all of these positive changes, and just kind of like getting back to being me again. And because I felt like I was at a point where I was constantly annoyed and like every little thing bothered me. I felt uncomfortable in my skin like all the time, and it was miserable, and I didn't want to feel that way anymore. So yeah, I went ahead and I talked to my doctor about it, and she's an incredible doctor. Had a thorough blood panel and a bunch of stuff done, and you know, to make sure everything was kosher before I went ahead and started doing this. And yeah, as I sit here now doing my makeup, I feel better than I have in years, and it's actually pretty incredible. And I kind of right now wish I had done it sooner, but you know, that's something that I've been doing, and just for my, you know, my health and my personal happiness and well-being, and it's just those things are, it's really important. So yeah, I decided to get on it, and you know, I'm just kind of experiencing the newness of it and trying to adjust to it. But all in all, you know, I feel so much better. And I wasn't sure I was going to even mention it, but, you know, because I know that there are many people out there that have strong feelings about this type of thing, and would, you know, say, oh no, you shouldn't, and, you know, this, that, and the other. But really, it comes down to what you need for yourself and what's going to work for you. And I certainly, you know, wouldn't, if someone came to me, you know, of my age and was having that problem, and, you know, I would say for me, I'm currently glad that I did it, and it's a good thing for me, but what works for me may not work for everyone, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna advocate, get out there and, you know, go do it today. I mean, do what you need to do, but right now it's like, it's kind of incredible, and I do feel like it's a big reason why my skin is like improved already. I don't know. I mean, it really has. It can't all be in my brain. It's either that, you know, new skin cream that I've been using, but I've used stuff that the doctor has given me, and my face still had that dryness. So they say within a couple weeks you start to really feel, and it's been over a couple weeks, and I'm telling you that I feel and I see differences that are like, and I feel and I see that I look very tan, and I'm liking that too. It's actually really nice. My skin looks really glowy and fabulous. I can see why this has been so popular. I don't know. It's really great. Let's grab some blush and really just keep adding to the warmth of the face, because why not? A little Rare Beauty, because I love this. It's my favorite frickin' blush, and I feel like I use it almost every time I do my makeup. I need to branch out though and get back to some other blushes that I absolutely love, like this one from Dior, and then I have my blush that I haven't used from Chantecaille. I haven't used that in forever, and I used to use that every time I did I don't touch it anymore. And I have a couple of Pat McGrath blushes that I don't use as much anymore, and it's like, darn, I got a lot of blush. I have a lot of blush, and yeah, and it's not, I need to circulate and get things all in the circulation so that I'm not just using one thing all the time. But it's really hard to not reach for this because it is so good. It's like the shade and everything. And at first when I bought it, I wasn't sure that this was going to work for me. I thought, oh, it's going to be too dark, it's not going to look good. But dude, I love it. I love it so much. It's fantastic. So anyway, I do need to use my other ones though. They're just like sitting there getting all dusty and crusty, and it makes me kind of sad. But it's like, when you're stuck on something, you're stuck on it, and it's kind of hard to like put down something that you enjoy so much, you know what I mean? It's just basically, yeah. Back to my story time. So there was an interesting occurrence a couple weeks ago. Okay, this is a me thing, and I don't know, maybe it's a you thing too. Maybe you'll relate to this. DWP sends something in the mail, the electric company or whatever, depending on where you live. I don't know. I'm sure every state has different names for what they got to supply the electricity to the home. And I just, you know, a lot of times it's like how to save energy so you don't get like a $500 bill. I mean, we keep it, the thermostat is like, it's way too hot in this house in the summertime as far as I'm concerned, especially when you're dealing with the change, which I hope this summer will be a lot easier for me than last summer, which was like horrible like many summers before. So something showed up in the mail, and I thought it was another one of those save electricity things, so I ignored it. as you do. Yeah, and I just kind of chucked it because I figured it was just another thing of saying like, make sure you save energy or else we're going to charge you a lot of money and you're going to have to spend a lot to keep your house cool in the summertime. And I was like, nah, like I don't already freaking know that. So it was like, I think it was like on Tuesday, a couple weeks ago, and it was like a random Tuesday or something like that. Tuesday or Thursday. It was one of the tea weekdays. And I'm like sitting and I'm watching my little YouTube. It's like 10 in the morning and all of a sudden the power goes out. Shit. Oh, I just grabbed a ton of powder. I did not mean to do that. Ugh. Wait, did I set the top of my eyelid? I didn't. So let me take a second and do that really quick. And I thought, well, maybe we had like a, you know, one of the thermals or whatever, blue or something, and I'm sure it's not that serious and it'll be back on in no time. So, you know, I'm chilling and a couple hours pass and it's not coming back on. And I'm thinking, well, that's freaking weird. So I'm like, well, thinking to myself, I'm just gonna go ahead and go run some errands and get done what I need to get done, and I'll, you know, come back and hopefully it'll be on by then. Usually it's not off for more than a couple hours and then it comes back on and life resumes as it should. And when I'm leaving to go to do my errands and stuff, I see the DWP out there and they're, you know, they're doing their thing and it looks like they're fixing one of the thermals. So I thought, oh, well, that obviously that's what it is, a thermal blue, and they have to like replace it. Oh, you know, bummer, that freaking sucks. So I'm like, I'm sure by the time I get back from whatever I'm doing, you know, I've got a couple hours of this, that, and the other, and you know, the food in the fridge is fine. Everything's closed, and as long as I don't open it, everything's going to be cool, you know. So I go and I do my thing, and I come back like 2-3 hours later, and thinking the power is going to be on, I still see them out there working. I'm like, well, that's freaking odd. I guess they're having a real problem. Okay, so time is passing, and I started to get a little nervous. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. It's just so freaking weird. So I decided to walk down to where they're working, which is like, we're in a very hilly area, and I worked up a sweat that day. It was freaking, it was nutty. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go over this. I don't need any more bronzer. I really don't. But I'm going to use a little more bronzer while we continue to chat because I feel like I'm gonna I don't have any reason. I'm just gonna. So I walk down there to where they're at and they're working. I'm thinking, I'm gonna see if I can, you know, pull someone aside because there's someone in the road who's, you know, guiding traffic to make sure that people don't come through at the wrong time when they're trying to do stuff. So I've got it in mind to go ahead and talk to this kid when I get to where they're at and find out what the heck's going on. So I happen to get to the area where they're working and there's a neighbor outside. Maybe it's a California thing, I don't know, but it's very rare that anywhere that I've lived in this town that we talk to our neighbors. It's just like, I don't even know my neighbors. I know our neighbors on this side of us, and I don't think the neighbor on this side, the new one, I don't think they like me too. A person that lives in that house, an older gentleman, that every time I see him, he's got like this angry look on his face. Even when I've like waved, he's just been like, it might be a personality thing. But the point is, I'm going off on a whole different tangent. It's not even about that. It's not about homeboy over there. It doesn't matter. Even if he doesn't like me, it's okay. So, wait, let me go back to that. Because I remember I told Pat, I don't think he likes me. And Pat's like, oh, it's all in your freaking head. And then a couple weeks ago, he's like, I don't think the neighbor likes me. I'm like, dude, for real? Okay, so now I'm done with that. So we don't really know, I don't know their names, and we don't really talk. It's not that kind of, and it's always been like that. Anywhere I've lived in California, it's like, except when I was a kid. I didn't know the names of my neighbors. We don't like commune and do that whole deal. It's just, that's not what it's like here in this freaking town. It's just not. Let me know in the comments if it is, you know, where you live, if you guys are all like, hey neighbor Susan, you know, I'm curious, what is that like? That must be interesting. So back to my story, I ran into a neighbor, you know, this guy outside his house or whatever, and I had asked him if he knew what was going on, and he looked at me like I was a complete freaking nimbus, and he was like, yeah, I mean, they sent out a letter saying that they're going to be working on the power today, and the power's going to be off until like 4, and I had just gone to market and grabbed like milk and all that other crap, and so apparently the power is going to be off until 4, and now I want to go over this. Now that I talked about my blushes, I'm thinking I'm just going to do a little of that too. So I guess the moral of the story is to read or at least glance at what, you know, your electric company sends to you, just so you know that it might not be like tips on how to save energy. It might be like, hey, heads up, we're going to have the power off from 10 to 4 on this frickin' day. Well, it doesn't end there, because it's me, and obviously it couldn't. It just couldn't. That would just be too frickin' normal. So 4 o'clock comes and goes, and the power's still off. 5 o'clock comes and goes, and the power's still off. So I take the stuff out of the fridge and I put it in the freezer just to make sure that it has, like, you know, something to, there's ice and all that, just keep it, you know, cold. We do have a generator. If things got terrible, we could use the I didn't want to use the generator. I'm like, it's going to be on any minute. So Pat's already home, and, you know, it's like, well, this is kind of weird, but he's super chill, because he's always super chill, and I envy him that. So he's just like, oh, I'm sure it'll be on any time. I'm just going to go ahead and relax and, you know, scroll and look at my phone and that kind of thing, and do that whole deal. So time continues to pass. And he went ahead and left the house and went to, what do you have to do? He went to Home Depot or something like that for a job that he had to do. And I was helping him outside, you know, load the truck for the next day, or, you know, just kind of doing that thing. Then he took off to go do that. And it's hours later. Now we're talking, it's like 6:37. And he starts to get curious about what's going on. So we get in our car and we drive down to where they're working. And he asked the guy that was, same kid that was directing the traffic, you know, and he's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like, you know, maybe like 30 minutes now, it's gonna be on, they're doing one more thing, and then we'll have you guys, you know, rocking and rolling again. And with each like passing moment, I'm just getting more and more stressed out. Like, do I have to repurchase? How expensive food is right now. Oh my God. Do I have to go and like I mean, is everything gonna turn to crap? And, you know, obviously it's still in the freezer, and thank God I did that, because I feel like if I'd left it in the fridge, it wouldn't have been, for my mind, it probably would have been fine, but I would have been kind of like, I don't know, side-eyeing it a little bit, bombastic side-eye, you know. I would have done that. I would have had a moment. And Pat is like that too. We both had that in common, where we have like quirks about food. So he would understand as well. But time's still passing. It's getting freaking dark. And 4 o'clock is long gone. We're getting into 8 o'clock now, and the power's still not on. I got candles burning. I got this thing on that obviously wouldn't kill a bug, but the light works wonderfully. So we had this on, and we're just kind of like waiting for the moment to happen. And finally, at 8:30 in the evening, oh, well, it was actually a little after 8:30, it finally did. And they were done, and the power came back on. So, yeah, that was a weird experience. Let my mistake be the thing that saves you trouble. You know, you guys are probably all level-headed thinking, I always look at that when not me. I let that frickin', I'm like, I let that go. I threw it out. I'm like, I'm not even gonna look at this, waste of my time. But it did have me doing laps in the anxiety pool, because I was thinking, I don't want to have to repurchase a whole bunch of food, because the power company has decided to go into overtime putting these thermals up or whatever. It's like, this is freaking ridiculous. So it all worked out, and for that I am grateful. I learned a valuable lesson that day. I really did. And then there was another day I wanted to talk to you guys about. So Pat had stayed home. You guys know he works like 7 days a freaking week. I mean, he's constantly out there working. God bless him. He's like busy as all get out. But he stayed home on a weekend, and we decided like we were gonna go to the beach, because it's been forever since I've been to, you know, Venice or, you know, anything like that. It's not often that I get over there. It's funny because we live so close to the beach, and yet we never go. So we decided, yeah, let's go to the beach. Let's go ahead and check it out. And we wanted to. Well, parking is a thing. It's expensive over there. So we were going to park by the actual, you know, beach. They have parking there, but we decided to take a little detour, because there was a sign that was like, you know, doing like public parking this way, where it was less trafficky. And we thought, oh, you know what? This might be a better way to, you know, to go. And there's this little valet spot that we pulled into. And by the time we were in there, it's kind of funny how they have it all like set up, because it's like once you're in there, it's really hard to navigate getting out, because it's a full little deal and it's a small space. And it's a racket, I'll tell you what, because we get there and we hop out of the car, we're like, okay, we're here, let's just park here. It's $40 to park the car for 3 hours or something like that, 4 hours, $40. That's it. That's their flat rate for parking the car. And we're both looking at each other like, well, you know, we're here, so let's just pay it because we don't know how long we're going to be. We want to spend the day. We want to have a little fun because we don't get to do that often together. You know, we don't get to like have that time because he's always working. And when he's not working, he's understandably exhausted. So we paid the $40, which was highway freaking robbery. And we're walking around Venice Beach and God, it was a beautiful day. It was really nice. And it was around like 3 something, I want to say. Maybe a little later, like I'm not, you know, it was later in the afternoon, but not late afternoon. It wasn't dinner time just yet, and that's poignant to the story. So we're walking around, and we decided to stop and get like a late lunch, basically. It was kind of the plan anyhow. And we come across this restaurant. We were going to go to get Mexican food because I was, you know, in the mood. I hadn't had it in a while, and that's like one of my favorites. And Pat's been really doing good on his diet. He lost 20 pounds, and he's, you know, getting healthier, and I'm so proud of him. It's wonderful. But we decided today's going to be our cheat day. We're going to have a little fun. And we came across this other place that it was really neat. It looked really cool inside. And we decided to go ahead and stop there instead. And they did like this, it's like a, kind of like a sushi thing / Hawaiian thing, which is a far cry from Mexican food, I know. But we decided to give it a try. And the thing is that they had just closed down the kitchen for brunch because it was like a little after 3:30 or something like that. And they were giving the chefs and everyone like an hour to take a break or whatever, which I think that's a freaking great idea. You know, during the switch out time, give people a break because restaurants it's grueling work. I've done it forever. That's why I'm like not excited to get a restaurant job anytime soon. But we walked away for a minute and like wandered around because we got on the list and we're kind of pondering it like, oh, okay. And then we decided, you know what, let's go back in. Let's just go ahead and sit and wait and we'll check it out. And so we did. We went in and there's no air in there. There's no AC. They've got fans on, I guess because it's by the beach. And that's something that I've noticed with the whole area, Venice and all that. They don't have a lot of restaurants that have AC because they're by the beach, and I guess they rely on the coolness of the weather there that they don't really need to have it. It would have been nice if they had it because it's like a sushi restaurant and it's hot in there with fans. It's weird. So we're sitting there and we're waiting for the switchover, and the guy who kind of runs the joint, I don't know if he's like the general manager or if he's like the owner or something like that, and I believe he's from Australia, he said, and really nice guy. He comes over and he gets us started with like these really cool juices that they had left over from the brunch that they did there, and it was really good. Pat got like this turmeric one, and I got like this cucumber pineapple one, and it was freaking delicious. So we sat there for like an hour and we're just sipping our juice and laughing and talking and doing our thing, and you know, we're waiting for the switchover to come, and it finally comes and we decide to order, you know, sushi, and the food there was good. Again, I feel like it was a little overpriced for what it was, but it was good. It wasn't as chilled as it should have been. And in the time that we'd spent there, we had 3 different waiters. It was weird. It's like people kept, oh, they just cut me from the floor. First we had this young lady. She was adorable and very sweet. And then we had a young man afterwards. It's like, oh, and now they cut me, so I'm going to hand you over to so-and-so. We had a couple other people. It was just strange. It was like, I just want to add a little bit of this bronzer to my lid right here just to add a little definition. But yeah, we had this big switchover of all these different servers. So I guess they pool their tips there, so it doesn't really matter if you have a bunch of different servers throughout your stay at the restaurant because they all share their tips at the end of the day, which I honestly, as a server, I don't like that idea. Because here's why, and if you work in the restaurant business, you may disagree with me, but maybe you'll agree. If you are a server and you're out there and you're busting your butt, more often than not, and I'm sure you've already figured out, there's always that person or a handful of people that don't level up. They're doing the bare frickin' minimum. Understandable. It's a burnout frickin' job. I get it. But they get the equal amount while you're out there hustling and you're trying to bring in as much as possible. It all gets spread out evenly. So I never agreed with that. I never enjoyed that. It's not my favorite way to handle the waiting of tables, but that's what they do there. So we're ordering the food, and the food it's good. It is. It's pricey, and it's you know, all that, but it's decent. I like the ambiance and all that stuff. But then on the way home, as we round out today's story time and my finished look and all that stuff, our stomachs start to feel a little sick because, you know, we're eating room temperature seafood, which is not always the best of ideas. Now, it wasn't like horrible sick, but it was certainly like uncomfortable stomach moment that we had because of how they did things there. I don't think that we'll be going back, but I am glad that we had, you know, that time to go and spend together, and we certainly laughed about it later on. You know, once we were feeling better, we had a good laugh about it, and that was that. And as we were driving out of that very expensive parking spot, we found literally no more than a stone's throw away another one for only $15 for 3 hours. So it's, you know, honestly, even though I live by the beach and I'm a California girl, I don't really need to go to the beach. Maybe because it's so accessible, it's just not like, just gotta be there. So I don't know that we'll go again for a little while, and I'm okay with that. I stopped to take my hair down for a minute. I'm liking it. I don't know, I like this bronzing stick. This is really nice. I know I went over it with the Pat McGrath one, but I just looked in the bathroom lighting. So pretty, so tanned and bronzy. I think I need to get a little more sun on my face, and it's gonna look freaking fantastic. I'm gonna use this today to top off the look, and it's my Hourglass lip gloss, the supposedly viral one that isn't viral at all, but it's nice. I've been using the Rare Beauty lip tint a lot, and I love it. So good. It's in my handbag, and I'm too lazy to go grab it, so I'm gonna use this right now. I don't use this one enough anyway, so that worked out perfectly. And it is very like moisturizing. It's nice. It's not super sticky either, which makes me very happy. But that lip tint, Rare Beauty, their products in general, so good. So good. Yeah, liking it. I just got powder all over my freaking leg, but this is basically the finished look. I know, it's not really super dramatic. You know what I need to do? I need to like hop into this palette again and use it. It's been a while since I used my Juvia's Place palette. It's like, it looks like it hasn't even been touched. It looks brand new. I have used it, not enough. It's not getting enough love. So maybe in my next video, we'll go ahead and give that one a try and give it a little more love because it's a gorgeous palette. I mean, the shadows are superb. Juvia's Place is freaking amazing, but I love this. I love the look. It's just, it's tan, it's healthy, it's nice. I don't know. This has just been like my go-to lately. I haven't been doing a lot of glam looks. I haven't been doing it up because I'm not really, where am I going? I'm literally job hunting and trying to live my life and yeah, I don't know. It's just, why am I doing full makeup? No, I'm talking about a couple of restaurants we went to. I did have makeup on, but it's this basically. It's like, I don't know. So I like this look. This is like, it's doing a thing for me. I know it doesn't really matter. It's pretty and we wear what we like and there's no rules. You don't have to like glam every time, but I feel like it might make for a more interesting video if I did do a glam look every now and again. Things are changing and I'm just trying to like go with it. I don't know. I'm just liking the really tan, like natural kind of glow. It's just where I'm at in my headspace right now. But next time I'll give that palette a try. But for the most part, I just wanted to sit down with you guys and share some of these stories with you because, you know, my life is oddly eventful. I mean, it's like there's always something going on that I feel like, oh my God, you know, I gotta sit down and tell you guys about. You won't believe, you know, this or that or, you know, whatever. The power being off for like a ridiculous amount of hours to where I thought the food was gonna go bad and, you know, just stuff, just random crap that I just wanted to share with you guys because, you know, you're my friends and I love you. So yeah, this is the finished look. It may not be super exciting, but it's pretty and I really like it. And I love hanging out with you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. I look forward to talking to you. And yeah, that's going to do it for me today, kids. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching. As always, I really do appreciate it. And I will catch you all in the next one. Bye!